Recording. We're on, matey.
There we go.
Good evening, everybody. X-File 2708 and James back again with another one of our random ramblings.
Yep, another one. This is an official one. Obviously, the last one was a pickup video conversation, but this one is just fully the new episode of the podcast.
Yeah, we did the boutique pickups last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
So yes, we sunk a few beers that night, and I'm on the dead man's finger again tonight. James is struggling, so he's on the soft drinks tonight. So,
I don't drink.
But yeah, so officially this is episode 4 from horror to Hollywood, and today we're going to be chatting. This is going to be quite an interesting one because this is our top 10-ish films from our years of birth.
Yeah, so for me, 1994.
Yeah, and for me, 1973. So I had a much better selection of films to choose from compared to James. So
literally, I must have been scrolling for about an hour thinking, and just like for my number 5 spots, these are in no particular order, but for the fifth one to choose, I think I was just literally going to throw a dart at the chart and just go right that one.
Yeah. So yeah, you were messaging me telling me how much you were struggling and all, and I was no help at all. I just sat back pissing myself laughing. So I had a much easier run choosing my 10. There's probably a couple towards the end of the list that aren't my favourites, but they're classic films in their own right.
And I just had to pick them because I had no choice.
Yeah, so 1973 was definitely a much better year for films compared to the mid-90s.
So should we do like horror, normal, until we get through them all?
Up to you. I mean, I've done my list. I've done 5 horrors and then 5 non-horrors.
Yeah, we'll just do it that way then.
So yeah, if you want to do it that way, yeah. So let me just have a quick slurp.
I'll let you start because this is going to be an absolute nightmare.
Right, let's say I haven't got examples to show for all of these, but like I say, they're all what are classic movies that everybody knows what the poster art's about and all that sort of thing. So no surprises at all with my first horror from 1973. There we go. Oh God, we've got the reverse camera, so this is going all. There we go. I just hold it there, so you get the gist.
Like definitely one of my favorites of all time. I recently made my fiance watch it because I said it's one of those ones where when you watch it, it's like people used to say it's the scariest movie of all time and things like that. It's not like the current way the horror movies work is they're very reliant on jump scares and things like that. Whereas The Exorcist, it relies on just like everything. There's just an underlining tension throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, even at the beginning when she's talking about Captain Howdy and saying that she's talking to this person that only she can see, you have that feeling of something's not right.
Yeah. And for me, it is one of the best supernatural religious horrors ever made.
Everyone's just brilliant in it. Like you've got Regan McNeil, Linda Blair, obviously acting at a very, very, very young age, being absolutely incredible. And when you see her in documentaries and stuff like that, she's a complete natural. Then you've got I can never remember. She was recently in a new one in a kind of cameo star role. The mother, I can't remember her name, unfortunately. But she was incredible. Then you've got like Damien Carriage. You've got Max von Sydow as well. Just like all of the characters are just really well done. It's really well shot.
Yeah, and with that, with Regan's character as well, the scene, that everybody remembers when she's on the bed and she's being flung around and all of that sort of thing. When you actually listen to what she's got to say as to how that was filmed and the physical torture that she actually went through to do those scenes, It beggars belief. It really does.
There was a making of documentary. It's one of the ones I sent you the other day. And it's just put in Exorcist 1973 documentary into YouTube. It's one of the top results, and it's the director's there, the original writer, William and William Friedkin, and then they get Linda Blair and everything in, and she's talking about that when she was flung about, all the special effects, all the makeup and stuff like that. It's about an hour and so. It's a really good documentary to watch.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the same documentary that I've seen before. I did check a couple of the ones that you sent me last week, but I haven't got round to the Exorcist one yet. But I have seen a couple of documentaries about the making of it and that over the years. So
yeah, it's a really good. I was going to go and see it last year for Halloween in the View Cinema, and I didn't get the chance, and I proper kicked myself for it because I can imagine on the big screen it looks really good.
I'd have loved to have seen it on the big screen. That would have been super.
Especially if it was like the version you've never seen, which is, I believe, the one you've got on the 4K.
Yeah,
it would have been.
Yeah, I think the 4K's got I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 different versions of the film on it. Pretty sure. I can't see the writing's far too tiny, but I'm sure this 4K there's a few different cuts of the film.
It is one of those where I'll always watch the longer version because just the films that all the lore and stuff, the Pazuzu thing and all that, you want to find out as much information as possible. But it's definitely one of the best horrors ever made. What we're 50 years down the line, just over 50 years.
Yeah, 51 years, isn't it? So
yeah. And it could have been made yesterday with how it is.
Yeah,
it's really good.
And it's a classic. If people saw my top 10 horrors when we did that episode, Exorcist was right up there for me. So
exactly.
Always, it's a timeless one. It's aged so well over the years. So
definitely deserve another top 5 spot. Well,
really good. So yeah, that was my first one.
Yeah, do you want to know my number? Do you want to know my first one?
Yeah, go on then. Are you doing horror, and then we'll move on to
horror first. My one, Scanner Cop. Right? It's an
okay.
It's like an offset of David Cronenberg's Scanners. It was sort of made in that vein. I watched it once, 4 years ago. I can't remember anything about it, but it's the only film on there that I could find for my number 5 spot that I actually knew I'd watched.
Yeah.
All I remember is it's got really good special effects. That's it.
I don't know if I've ever seen it, to be fair. Is it a David? I take it it's not a David Cronenberg film. It's just a spin-off to his original.
Yeah, it's a spin-off kind of thing of the original Scanners movie. It's not David Cronenberg, as far as I'm aware. I don't think he had any involvement in it. But there's 2. There's one, and then the second one, which is called The Showdown. Second one I've never watched. The first one I watched, I think I can remember there's a scene at the beginning where a guy has 3 heads grown out of his forehead, and that's
right.
That's the only thing I can remember from it. So yeah, that's my number 5 spot.
Bloody hell, you're struggling.
That's how much fun I was having with it.
Oh dear me. Right, well I'll go on to my next one. And there we go.
It was in your top 10, I believe.
It certainly was, yeah. So absolutely legendary film, this one. Edward Woodward and Christopher Lee.
The best folk horror film ever released.
Definitely. I always compare Midsummer with Wicker Man. Midsummer is another favourite of mine. Oh, don't get me wrong, doesn't go anywhere near my top 10 horrors of all time, but it's one of those cult type horrors that I just love sitting and watching. So
yeah, the thing about things like Wicker Man and Midsummer is there's nothing actually, pardon me, there's nothing actually scary. There's no monsters, there's no this, there's no that. Wicker Man is literally a police officer on an island. That's it. Yeah. That's the scary thing is he doesn't have any contact with the outside world.
Yeah.
And the fact that all these people are in this cult and they believe in this thing that's bad for him, and that's literally it.
It's the whole thing to do with a cult, isn't it? That's the scary thing. If you sit and think about what a cult represents and how they brainwash people and all of that, it's what that does to your own head and your own mental well-being, and how that sort of thing sits with you, that freaks you the fuck out if that sort of thing disturbs you or not.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things as well. The ending. I remember when I originally watched it as a kid. I only had like the DVD when I first got it when I was very young. Just watching it, the ending, and then just being like, dead in.
It's one of those, isn't it? Because I remember the first time I watched it, I wasn't, because obviously he's trying to rescue the girl he thinks needs rescuing, but as it turns out, she sets him up, doesn't she? She lures him to the cliff's edge, and he's buggered from there. So it was a brilliant twist.
It gets to the end where he steals the costume and he's infiltrated them and he's doing all this, and you think, oh, he's got a one up on them, and then he finds the girl. He tries to run, but then you find out that they've like, obviously as he's walking through the town, you see the people popping up wearing the masks. And it's like he had eyes on him the entire time. He had no chance. Yeah,
but absolutely brilliant film. And like you say, that was another one that made my top 10 horrors of all time. So my first couple with this list were nice and easy from 1973. So slightly easier than you've had it by the sounds of it. So
I will say, everything from now on, I remember watching and remember stuff about them. So I've got that going for me.
Right, okay. Yeah, because we've said these are in no particular order, didn't we? So
yeah. I've tried to aim them so the ones I can talk about more are at the top, but they're not in any particular order.
Yeah.
Bar one, which we'll get to.
Right, okay. So your next one then, matey?
My next one, another absolute classic of cinema, is The Puppet Master 5.
5.
Number 5.
Yeah, so the first one was what, late 80s?
Yeah, so this was I think this was either late 80s or early 90s, and the only reason I know I watched this is because I don't know if you did it yourself. I got the Puppet Masters when they won the 88 Films Blu-ray label.
Yes, yeah.
Basically, when back in the day when I used to get the Italian collection and the slasher collection and spend far too much money on crap, they released all of the Puppet Masters up to a point, and I bought all of them because I thought, I like the first one, and they get so low budget and weird. Like, they introduced this giant demon that I can't quite remember the name of. I'll tell you what, I will quickly find it out, because this one's called The Final Chapter, even though it was not the final movie.
Did they ever do a Blu-ray box set for Puppet Master, or was it just DVD?
No, it was Blu-ray. There were individual releases, and they might have done a box set, but it might be US only.
Right, okay. I was going to say, I don't recall seeing a Blu-ray box set for it. So
there we go. Right. Oh yeah, that's Sutek. Is that what it is? I think so. Or is that because what happens is it's a bit of a twist where the puppets from the original, so Blade and Pinhead and all these, they sort of become the good guys and fight these demon puppets that are brought into the world.
Yeah.
By this demon that I'm trying my hardest to find his name. Oh yeah, a demon lord named Sutek. I think that's how it's pronounced. Yeah, they're called totems, and they basically start fighting them, and it's the puppets versus these other puppets with people mixed in. But the budgets just absolutely plummets down. Like, the budgets are so low.
Yeah,
the effects are good enough, and the puppets are cool, but I'm all for like Charles Band, the guy who owns Full Moon Pictures. So he did stuff like Puppet Master, and he's done other things like Lurking Fear, and God knows how many other things. Just hundreds and hundreds of like these low budget movies. I mean, you've got Subspecies, Trancers, the Killjoy films, Demonic Toys.
Killjoy, weren't they the killer clown?
Yes.
Killjoy. So I remember the DVD covers for those. So
yeah, he's
super low budget clown movies.
Yeah, he's a master of all this low budget nonsense, but like they are enjoyable as just turn your brain off and enjoy. Like they're really short as well. I mean, like an hour and 20, I think.
Yeah.
And they are just daft, like forgettable. I mean, this was direct to video in 1994. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I'd probably give them a watch through again because I remember like the first one was a relatively bigger budget, and then obviously they got less and less as they went on. Inevitably, they started doing like I mean, I'm pretty sure they did one like quite recently. I'm pretty sure there's. Oh my god, there's even more. I thought they did 10. There is actually.
Bloody hell! I thought they'd only done maybe half a dozen tops.
There is 14.
Jesus, bloody hell!
14 Puppet Master movies. The last one came out in 2022.
Bloody hell! So they're still making them.
So they're still relatively recently.
So what rating did that last one get then? Are they going downhill movie on movie, or?
You mean the most recent one?
Yes, yeah.
Well, it's called Puppet Master Dr. Death.
Okay.
Let's have a look. Reception. Oh, do you know what? I'll just go to IMDb and see what they said because that's a long review. It's currently sitting on a giant fat 4.5 out of 10, which is more than I expected.
It's and me, yeah. I mean, it did that. That's close to average.
But yeah, like
I thought it might be sitting on like a 2.5, 3 tops.
I think as soon as they fell out of like the 90s cheese fest of like being low budget direct to VHS, I think after that they sort of just behave.
You could get away with that a lot more back then, couldn't you? As opposed to today. So
it falls into the same category of like Return of the Living Dead 3, Piranha 2, like these sequels that were released direct to video. And like they would just be like you'd watch them for an hour and a half and then you'd never think of them again. But
I mean, I always thought. I mean, I think I've only ever seen the original, probably 3 Puppet Master films. I think since I've been recollecting again, I've maybe got Puppet Master 2, I think, or Puppet Master 3 back on the shelf. But I certainly remember enjoying, the cheesiness and some of the little puppet characters are creepy as fuck. So,
Yeah, I remember the leech woman. She used to make me go like, when she spits up the leeches and stuff. Yeah,
because haven't they done some like collectible toy figures over the years of the Puppet Master?
It's actually NECA have done it, and you get 2 figures per box. So I think in one of them you get Blade and Pinhead, and another one you get the Tunneler, the one with the drill in his head.
Yeah,
and they've just announced, I believe, a new one with the leech woman in it.
Yeah.
So it's still going strong. It's still getting
there you go. So, obviously NECA think they're a bit of a cult classic as well. So
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I might give them another run through at some point, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're kind of say the ones that I'll get maybe the first, and unless I strike it lucky with a big box set, I'll probably get the first.
I'd say the first 5, because then the 5th one was the original final chapter, and then everything after that was a different story. So if you just do the 5, you'll be good. Yeah,
exactly. So very good, not a bad choice that one. My next one.
How am I getting Puppet Master 5? I'm
getting Exorcist, Wicker Man, and Don't Look Now.
How am I getting these? I'm getting these horrific spin-offs and sequels.
And I'm getting absolute cool classics.
Just not fair.
Oh dear. But yeah, brilliant film, that one. What was it? Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie.
Rest in peace. Quite recently, he passed away. Bless him. Not too long ago. Absolute. Like, I remember watching, like, because I knew him from like TV and stuff like that, and I remember I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. Yeah,
absolutely blew my mind. He's a phenomenal actor. He really was.
It's that scene where he's pointing, isn't it,
That's the final
yeah.
one, yeah, the final
Yeah.
scene of the movie. Absolutely incredible.
My screen keeps going off it. Yeah, excuse me if I keep leaning forward every 10 minutes, otherwise my screen is going to disappear.
That's fine. We'll just cut off halfway through, and that's all they'll get. But I remember Don't Look Now having that same thing of that creepy atmosphere throughout the entire thing, like sort of as soon as they decide to do what they do, it's like a creepy, like they've messed with something they shouldn't, and
because I mean, basically the little girl drowns, doesn't she?
Yeah, with the red claw.
At the start of the film, and then obviously Donald Sutherland's character and Julie Christie, don't they go out? Is it over to Venice?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I haven't seen it in a while. Yeah,
I think it is Venice. And they get approached, don't they, by these two sisters that reckon they can. I don't know, not paranormal, is it? But it's
like
some sort of like visions or spiritual thing that they can communicate with her and reveal more as to why she disappeared and why she drowned, etc.
Yeah, it's got like that. It's got that eeriness of like they're messing with something they shouldn't mess with, and they should sort of just let things lay, like sleeping dogs lie and things like that.
Yeah, because isn't it the case that's what the wife wants to do, but Donald Sutherland's character,
he's really apprehensive of it. Yeah, and it is really good in that way of like you just get that. It's the same as The Exorcist. You just have that feeling of you're always on edge, like what's going to happen next.
Yeah,
I'm sick of this,
Yeah, I haven't seen it for a few years. I mean, I literally got this on Blu-ray probably a few weeks ago, something like that. So I'm pretty sure I used to have it as a limited edition box set.
Yes, it was Studio Canal, I believe, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, and they did a lovely. I'm sure I had the steelbook for it as well. That was quite nice with the little girl with the bright red raincoat.
I believe it's on Criterion Collection now as well.
Oh right, okay.
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is.
Yeah, I'm quite happy just getting the Blu-ray back in the collection. I seem to remember the Blu-ray release was quite a nice cut of it. So, yeah, that's on my short list to rewatch again very shortly. So,
yeah, well, I'm sick of this list. This is just not fair. I haven't had one like classic. I've got I'm pretty sure Scanner Cop was direct to video as well. You know what I mean?
I think it probably was, yeah.
It's just not.
But yeah, we'll have to think of another episode where it's not quite so difficult for one or both of us to select a particular film. So
yeah, right. My next one, an actual decent one.
Here we go. Let me brace myself for how good this is going to be.
Yeah. It's In the Mouth of Madness by John Carpenter. Woo! There you go.
Excellent choice.
Yeah, an actual decent one. Right. Yeah, In the Mouth of Madness. I'd say until recently, it's been more one of his more unknown ones. So you've got his Halloween, his thing. You've got all this, but then I think it's on the same. It was on the same league as the Prince of Darkness. Like it was one of his lesser known films that he made.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely incredible. Like I'm a big fan of. It's based off of cosmic horror and like things like H.P. Lovecraft, who I'm a really big fan of. I really like his stories. So the whole thing of having this cosmic horror, fear of the unknown, things out of your control, but you can try to stop it anyway, but it's pointless thing that the main character goes through. It's really, really interesting. It has got. Whereas things like Halloween and The Thing are quite serious. Yeah, I think In the Mouth of Madness has got a bit of cheese to it, mainly because of Sam Neill.
I've never seen it. It's on my list to watch. I've seen a few people, when they've done John Carpenter rankings, and In the Mouth of Madness is always one that they put, certainly in probably the top 6. Something like that, but it's on my list to get on physical media. I just haven't got around to getting it yet. So,
Yeah, Sam Neill plays the main character. Obviously, very famous for things like Jurassic Park and those things. He plays really well. He plays insane very well. But it's got a bit of a cheese factor to it, where it's like it's not entirely deadpan serious, which I think would have potentially served it a bit better in terms of like where it's like it's just some things. It's like Sam Neill, his character's got crosses written out, like drawn all over him, and he acts insane because he knows the truth about the world and things like that.
Yeah,
and he overacts in terms of like he's acting crazy, which is fine. But I think if they played it serious, where he was like just screaming nonstop and no like sort of thingy to it, and they played it a bit more serious, it would have came across as a bit more. I think it'd be more well remembered. But it is really good. The story's really good. It's got one of those endings where you sit there and go, like, you know, it gets a reaction out of you. But I'd say it's not in my top 3 John Carpenter's. I think that's still like the Halloween, The Thing, and then Prince of Darkness, weirdly enough.
They Live.
No, I said good John Carpenter movies.
Oh, right there. Got me.
I'd definitely give it a watch because I think it's mad that you haven't watched it, considering you gave me the VHS of it as well.
Yeah,
that was in there.
I remember. Yeah, I just didn't have a video player at the time anyway. So, but it's on my list to either get on Blu-ray or DVD. So,
see, the man's got a giant cassette deck. Doesn't have a VHS player. You can't live in.
I know, but I'm selling all that stuff. I'm not keeping it. So
I've got a VHS player within 3 feet of me. It is there.
Yeah. Excellent. So have you watched that on VHS then since I passed it across to you?
No, but now, because obviously the joys of modern technology, I didn't have anything to plug the VHS player into.
Yeah.
Obviously, the joys of getting rid of SCART and all composite and things like this. So what I've done is I've recently, it's under my desk. I bought this from work. I bought a little TV that it's a flat screen, but it has SCART on it. So what I do, if me and the partner want to watch anything on VHS, I can just plug the VHS player into that, and then just that'll be it.
Do you reckon you'll get to sit down and watch a VHS with you, or not?
Yes, because I actually have downstairs, which I won't go and get because I won't make it back up the stairs in this heat. We've actually got The Thing on VHS, another John Carpenter. So we've got the on VHS,
definitely,
and that she wants to watch. So
excellent. There you go. She's got good taste then, if she likes The Thing. So
it took some getting there, but I've got it on the right level.
Yeah, you've taught her well.
Exactly. But no, so not one of my favourites, but it's definitely a good one.
Yeah. Say I might even, after we've done this stream tonight, I might have a look and see if it's on the Fire Stick, and if it is, then I can get it watched that way, and that will see me through till I can add it into the collection physical.
Yeah, it's a fun hour and a half. The only thing is, I am pretty sure, I don't know this for certain because I haven't checked up in a while, but I'm pretty sure there's no UK Blu-ray release for it or DVD release. I
don't think there is. I'm pretty sure the people that I've seen talking about it, they've been US imports.
I believe the only way, the best way you can
Scream
get it
Factory?
Scream Factory. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've got like a collector's edition of it.
Yeah.
The joys.
Yeah, but I have got a multi-region 4K player, so if I did want to import it on Blu-ray, but I mean, you know what, I'm like, you know, it's I mean, is it really one of those films that benefits from watching it on Blu-ray, or is it
like it's one of those ones where I'll watch if I come across it on Netflix or something like that, I'd be like, oh yeah, definitely I'll give that a watch, but it was never one of the ones where I'd seek out like a physical copy.
Yeah, I mean, is it one of those that, you know, it's low budget and grainy, and it's got a charm to watching it on DVD, or?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's like obviously I did for you recently. Like some films, like benefit from that. Like
Yeah.
That's the reason I want to watch the thing on VHS because of the grainy quality and how crap it'll look. It is really like it's the worse it looks, the better I think some of them, like the scuzziness of it, really works. Like obviously, I did the Grindhouse for you, didn't I? And what was your opinion on that?
Absolutely superb. I loved it. Yeah.
Like the VHS quality does add to it. Like I said, I've got I'll tell you
the scratchiness and all that sort of thing.
A little offside. I'll spin you around. Right. So it's like I've got oh god, don't drop this. It's expensive. So we've got where's my finger? There it is. A VHS
Where's my
player.
finger? Is it not the end of your arm where it normally is?
End of my hand, actually. A VHS player. And then we've got a PS3. So what I do is I play the file through that and record it to VHS. And then I digitize it to the computer.
Yeah.
So basically, you're then getting a digital file with the VHS quality, which is one of my sad little hobbies. But you enjoyed it, so I've got one fan.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I've moved it off the memory stick. So next time we get a chance to meet up, I'm passing it you back, and you said you've got a load of other ones that you've VHSified.
I recently did a VHS of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, very nice. There you go. Well, like I say, I'll keep passing you that memory stick back and just keep filling it up and chucking them across. There's so many movies that I reckon, in their gritty graininess and all that sort of thing look so much better than Blu-rays and 4K. So
yeah, one I can tell you off the bat that I know I have without having to look. Actually, I've got the right hard drive plugged in, so we've got stuff like Alien. I've got Blade Runner. We've got Friday the 13th, Part 1 and 6. Don't ask. Fright Night.
Random.
Watch. Halloween. Late Night with the Devil. I put that on VHS.
Oh, nice.
Megan, the new one. Don't ask. Where are we? That Possessor.
I bet Late Night with the Devil all look good.
Yeah, Possessor. I put on there. The Brian Cronenberg. Devil's
Brandon.
Reject. Brandon, sorry.
Yeah.
Don't crucify me. Devil's Rejects, Evil Dead, the original,
nice.
The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Return of the Living Dead and the original Terminator and X. The X.
Ty West.
Maxine.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah. There's a couple for you.
Awesome. Well, I saw Maxine last week. Absolutely loved it. Brilliant film.
I'm still to watch any of them. I haven't seen Pearl or X.
Have you not? Bloody hell.
No,
well, spoiler, I managed to get Pearl a couple of weeks ago from HMV. They'd got it on, the ones at the counter where if you spend whatever, you get something reduced. $4.99 on Blu-ray.
That's not bad at all.
With any purchase. So, yeah, I picked up a couple of Arrow titles that were in the sale down to $8.99, and I managed to get Pearl for a $5. So
decent. But no,
more than happy with that.
I will get them sorted, and I'll get them over to you. But we're off tangent. We've been talking about so long. What's your next one?
Yeah. My next one. Oh, I'm really struggling. Such a difficult year, this one. We have.
I hate this. I really do.
This is four stellar titles so far.
I've had one.
George A. Romero's classic, The Crazies.
It was because I remember it was in a box set that Arrow did, and it was it Between Night and Dawn, which was a couple of his movies that he made in between Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Living Dead. Dawn of the Dead.
Because Crazies was 73, wasn't it? And then
Night
was 69, was it?
68 and then 78.
68 and then 78 for Dawn of the Dead.
Because he did that. There was another one called There's Always Vanilla, which I don't think it wasn't a horror movie at all. And there was another one included in the box set, and I can't quite remember what it was. But it's sort of one of those things where it's like, it's really good, but if you say The Crazies, a lot of people don't realise that the 2010 one was a remake.
Yeah.
Which I will say the remake was a hell of a good movie as well.
I really enjoyed the remake. I've got the remake on the shelf behind me. So yeah, really good one.
And it is a bit sacrilegious, but I do think I've actually watched the remake more than I've watched the original. But the original is really, really good. Like I'm a big stickler for like virus movies or like things where it's like threads where you see it all happen at once. Like, spoilers for a new movie, skip, I don't know, a couple of minutes ahead if you don't want to hear this. Do you want to hear this? I've recently watched A Quiet Place.
Oh yeah, go for it. I've got it on my list to watch, but it's one of those I've heard not the best of things about it, so I'm not really in a rush at the minute to get it watched.
It's not to get into it. I won't get into it to the point of where I talk about spoilers. The main thing is the fact that for being A Quiet Place day one, there's not much day one that doesn't show sort of like the decline of society type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like films in threads, obviously it's a bit of an obscure one. You sort of see things going to pop bit by bit, and then it all happens. I don't know if you ever watched a series called Fear of the Walking Dead, the spin-off of Walking Dead.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. Yeah.
Basically, the first season was set during the zombie breakout, and you see everything sort of slowly go bad, and then by the end of season one, you're then in the world of The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead, yeah. So it's sort of like a prequel to it, isn't it?
Yeah, so I thought the Quiet Day would have been Quiet Place day one. Would it been day one, it was going to show the military failing, and then
show you all the lead up to the first film.
Yeah, but it sort of just happens like that, and then it's just a normal Quiet Place movie.
Right.
But with the crazies and stuff like that, how even in the remake you see people slowly going mad, and you see people slowly becoming the crazies and things like that. It really works well. It's a bit like why I love Invasion of the Body Snatchers. How there's rumblings of like, my husband isn't acting right, and that's not my husband. And then I think there's at one point he drives past a bunch of people and they all move their heads in synchronization to him, and you just get that feeling of things are slowly getting worse. Like, did you watch Train to Busan? Didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I hated the second one. Loved the original. Yeah.
It's like, if you remember at the beginning where there's the announcements over like the tannoy of the train station, and at the background at the top of the stairs you see people getting attacked, but people are still getting on the train just like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. So the Crazies did that really well. But I think I haven't watched the remake or the original in a long time, so I think they are due a bit of a rewatch. But when everyone goes, "Oh, Romero did the zombie movies," he's got some other really good bits in there.
Yeah. Like, so didn't he? I'm sure it got a release recently. Bruiser.
Yes, it did. Yeah, 101.
That's one on my list to pick up. That's just been, I think, released as a special edition. I can't remember what label it's on.
I think it might be 101 Films, but don't quote.
Is it 101? So there's a limited edition box set, and that's a Romero film that I've never seen before. But I've heard good things about it, so it's one I need to pick up.
Yeah, I think it's one of his post 2000 movies, so it's after 2000.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Indicator.
Oh, is it Indicator?
And it's currently on. It's currently on Amazon for £20
for the special edition.
And it's a big fancy box set, yeah.
Ooh, that looked nice on my boutique shelf behind.
Yes, I can see all of my children behind you.
I thought I'd put them all nicely on display for this episode, so you can reminisce and admire.
The pain still hurts to this day.
Yeah, but you've got your tablet. You should be happy. I know, but yeah, they do look nice on there. So
they look better on that shelf than they did at mine, at the back covered in dust.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm the same as you. Getting back to Crazies, I've seen the remake more than I've seen the original. So, but whether I'd go as far as saying it's better, I think it's certainly on a par.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm going to have to give them both a rewatch and line them up side by side, because I don't think as bad as it is, I don't think I've seen the original in a long, long time. The Crazies remake, a couple of years, but the original, 5+ years at minimum.
Definitely, yeah. I think they're both on the list for me to watch at some point soon as well. So, yeah. But right, let's have your next gem then.
Oh, another sequel. Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead. No, I love the first 4 Phantasm films. We don't talk about Ravager. We don't talk about that. But
yeah,
the first couple of Phantasm films, I remember I got the Anchor Bay box set, which you have in a different way, which we won't say yet.
Yeah, which is still up on the shelf. Out of my reach. Lewis is away at the minute, so I've had nobody over to reach it down for me.
The second I got home, you said that, and I was like, we even double checked. But I remember I got the Anchor Bay box set, which was the big silver thing with Angus Scrimm as the tall man on the front holding the ball up, and I was like, what's that? And I bought it. I think it was from CEX way back in the day for about £10.
Yeah.
And I had all the bonus features. This is when I had time to watch bonus features. And I think I must have ran through every commentary track, every bonus feature, everything on them discs. And it was just absolutely incredible. Like, they're not that well known in terms of things like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Scream. But they are like really, really good. They've got that sort of like dream quality to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're watching them, like I think there's a scene in the first one where the tall man's walking across the road and there's the piano music, and he stops like an ice cream truck and warms his hands up on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it's literally like something you would see in a nightmare or a dream, like because he's walking in slow motion and everything. They did get a bit sillier as they went on because they had to explain how he has this like. Well, you see it a little bit in the first one. He has this alternate place that's like got where he keeps all of his dwarven minions, and he keeps all of the balls like they're all his followers and things like that. He got a little bit mad with it. And then the third one, all I can remember is there was this lady who's she's like a punk that knows karate.
Oh, right, okay, random,
absolutely incredible off the bat.
But,
they're just like it's a bit like Puppet Master. Like as the sequels went on, they did get a bit silly, but the special effects like held up. The thing is as well with the second one, which the main guy didn't come back for. It's the main actor, who played the kid. He came back for 3 and 4, so the actors for most of the main characters are consistent, which is quite cool because in the first one. Obviously the kid who from the main character, he's like 14, 15, and that's 1979, and then this is 1994, so the guy's like in his 30s, but it's the same guy. It's the same guy.
Gotcha. See, I've only ever seen the original. I've never seen anything after the original.
Yeah.
So.
Because I'm pretty sure Don Coscarelli, if I'm pronouncing that right, the director, I'm pretty sure he was actually friends with the actors, so to come back was like a really easy thing. But they were good. Oblivion was good, number 4. The second one's my favourite out of them because it just expanded on the first one a bit and it went a bit insane, but it's still really enjoyable. But Ravager, the 5th one, just don't even bother. Don't even bother.
I'm looking forward to Lewis getting back, or somebody else being over at some point that can reach it off the top shelf for me, so I can crack into them and get them watched.
That'll be the next video as well. We'll actually reveal what that is. Yes,
yeah. Although you might be able to tell from what me and you have been saying what it might be. So,
but they don't. They might not. Shh. They might not.
Yeah. So, right, where are we? On to my last one, which I haven't got physical to show.
Which is a surprise.
But another absolute classic, a Giallo, this one. Would you like to guess which one it is?
1973. Hang on. I've got two. I don't know whether to go with my gut or not.
Go on then.
Bird with the crystal plumage?
Uh-uh.
Tenebrae? Ah.
Torso.
It's what?
Torso.
Torso. I forgot about Torso. Yeah, that was my first guess. I just changed it. No, I remember Torso. I got the shameless yellow case of Torso. I remember that. I got the
that's what I started off with. Yeah, Sergio Martino, isn't it?
It was the DVD versus because they re-released it on Blu-ray, but I got the DVD version when they first did, where it had Shameless across the spines and the logo. And I remember I watched that. I watched Tenebrae, Deep Red, A Bird with a Crystal Plumage, Cat of Nine Tails, and a third.
Phenomena.
I binged a shed load of this was.
But they're all absolutely superb movies, aren't they?
Four Flies on Grey Velvet as well. I think that's an Argento one. I remember caning out just so many Giallo movies in college.
Yeah.
Like, it get to the point of where you could point out what made it a Giallo film. Like, oh, look, he's got leather gloves. Oh, look, he's using a straight razor. Oh, look, the blood looks like paint.
Yeah, and with Torso, it was a red and black scarf, wasn't it?
But no, I did like Torso. I can't really remember that much about it. In terms of plot, it has been a long time since I've watched it.
Well, it's basically somebody going around bumping off college girls using a red and black scarf.
Oh yes, because I remember he wears the balaclava, doesn't he? Yeah, I've just looked it up here, and it's just that came flooding.
But it's a typical Giallo, isn't it? That you try, if you've never seen the film before, you're chopping and changing your mind throughout the film as to who the killer might be. Yeah,
as is the standard with Giallo movies.
Yeah. But I need to get Torso back into the collection again. I'm pretty sure, like you say, I had it on Shameless DVD originally, but it did get did it get an Arrow Blu-ray release?
Yes, but I think it might have been the US that got that, because I think Shameless had the rights over here, whereas they had the rights over there.
Have Shameless released it on Blu-ray then? Because I know the likes of Killer Nun and stuff like that, Shameless have put out on Blu-ray recently.
Yes, right. So it is on Blu-ray. It's on Blu-ray with Shameless in the UK, and it's Arrow in the US.
Oh, right. Okay. There you go. So I'll pick it up on Shameless Blu-ray then.
And I don't know if you know these, but there's an Arrow box set that you might want to look into, which is called Giallo Essentials, where they include three Giallos per box set, and the box sets are going for about £30 each on Amazon right now.
Oh, right. Okay. So what sort of titles have you got in those?
So you've got The Possessed. Can't say I've heard of that one. The Fifth Chord, The Pajama Girl Case. And then you've got Smile Before Death, The Weapon, The Hour, The Motive, and The Killer Reserved 9 Seats.
Yeah,
so a couple more Giallos that you've probably never seen.
Yeah. I was going to say, I haven't heard of any of those. So, I mean, I've seen, like you say, the ones that you reeled off previously. I've seen all of those.
All the big names, yes.
But I'll have to have a look. They might be, saying that. I mean, if they're Arrow, they might drop into the Arrow sales, mightn't they? When they,
I believe they're just standard box sets. I don't think they're the whole cock and spiel of giant posters and art cards and things like that. I think it's just the 3 cases in a box.
What, even at £30?
Yeah.
Bloody hellfire. No, normally for a 30 quid box set, you've got bloody art cards and posters and rigid cases and all sorts.
£10 a film, I wouldn't complain.
True. But yeah, I'll have to have a look into that. So, say some giallos there that I've never seen before. So,
right.
Very good. On to your last horror.
And I said this list was a nightmare, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Because we've got Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Hey, what a gem.
Yeah. Probably one of the best in the series. I think my favourite might be probably number 3, Dream Warriors.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
It might be because of Dokken, but we won't say. But New Nightmare, because obviously the series ended up way more comedic. Like at first it starts out quite serious and then it got way more comedic to the end.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot more jokey, self-referential. Whereas sort of like the Friday the 13th, sort of they went a bit supernatural with the zombie thing, but they kept semi-serious. Halloween's went a bit off. But the Freddy, by the end, he's cracking jokes and he's doing cartoonish deaths and stuff. So
yeah,
if you've ever seen the Never Sleep Again documentary, which is brilliant,
it is absolutely brilliant one. Yeah,
like a 3 and a bit hour documentary, absolutely incredible. And they cut Freddy off after Freddy's dead. Said no more, done. Waited a good couple of years, and then they said, right, what if we bring Freddy back, but he's scary again? And they basically went through and they went, right, we'll make him scary. He's no more cracking jokes. He's got a new look because obviously they changed how his makeup looks. But what I like about it is, I would say it's set in another layer of the world. So it's set in our world where Robert Englund's a real person, Wes Craven's a real person, Heather Langenkamp is a real person, John Saxon. And then they inevitably, there's one of the scenes at the end I remember I really, really enjoyed, which was John Saxon goes to Heather Heather's house, and he starts acting weird. He starts calling her sweetheart and stuff like that. And she's like, "What, John? What are you doing?" And then she looks down, sees the police badge, cuts up, and he's got the police uniform on, and he's calling her Nancy, which obviously means that they're then in the movie.
Yeah.
Which I think is quite clever. Robert Englund, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he does, but I'm pretty sure he barely says anything as Freddy in this one.
All right.
Have you never seen New Nightmare?
I've got it on... I've got the Anchor Bay box set there. I don't think I've ever got that far with seeing that one. So,
calls himself a horror fan.
But like you say, I mean, that was like mid-90s, wasn't it? So I may have seen it once, but it was that long ago. I might, if I put it on now, it'd be like watching it for the first time. So
his old brain can't keep that much memory anymore.
51, the end of this month.
But yeah, it's quite good. I would say completely self-referential. It pokes a lot of jokes at how violent the movies have been and how Freddy's sort of a joke now. It's quite clever how they do that. It is really enjoyable. That's still, like I said, I think I prefer number 3 when it's actually three's got that whole thing of I've been saying with Puppet Master and stuff. When the sequels get so far down the line and they have to make ideas up, 3 where they have these superpowers in their dreams. It's completely daft, but it's so enjoyable.
And nothing to do with the scene with the nurse on the bed.
No, I would never enjoy anything like that. That's terrible. But,
oh dear me! But yeah, Dream Warriors is my favourite. Absolutely love that one. So,
and of course, Dream Warriors by Dokken, just one of the best opening songs of anything ever.
And there's the scene as well, isn't there, where he's walking the kid out and by the kid's veins, and Freddy's like the puppet master with the strings, isn't he?
Yeah, so I mean, he was still quite sinister at that point. But I'd say that's probably out of the ones I've picked. horror-wise. I think that's why I've kind of put it at the top. That's the one I have most fond memories of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my horrors done. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, say for mine, obviously, Exorcist and Wicker Man are my favourites out of those 5. So, but yeah, we're on to non-horrors next. So, what, 55 minutes in, so we haven't done too bad. So, I think with or certainly on mine, the non-horrors will be quicker to go through than the horrors, because these are ones that I've seen, a couple of times over the years, if that. I mean, there's a couple of classics in there, but there's a couple that I've only maybe seen once or twice that I'd struggle, but I know they are classics, so I have to put them for the year.
We've got a little bit of a coin flip here, not for all of them, but I think I've got a couple of better ones than you will have. I think I'm going to flip the coin with you here.
Okay, well, we shall see. I think I was head and shoulders in front for the horrors, so
we'll soon find out. I'll let you start again.
Right. So my first one. Here we go. This will be testing your knowledge. I'm not sure if you're a fan of this franchise or not. I'm yet to get them back into the collection, but they're on the telly regularly, and if I'm channel hopping and I see it on, I'll always sit and watch them. It's what?
I've just got like a horrible feeling in my stomach. I know what this might be. Go on.
Go on then. Go on. Let's hear.
They don't say these are the bloody carry-on films.
No, it's not actually.
Thank God.
It's a James Bond movie.
Oh.
So 1973 gave us.
I want to say maybe Moonraker.
No, Moonraker, I think, was late 60s, wasn't it?
I don't know. I could not tell you.
It started off with Dr. No, didn't it? Which I think was maybe 67?
60, yeah, early.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
The
1979.
Oh, there you go. So it was late 70s then. But 1973 gave us Roger Moore in Live and Let Die.
Do you know what? That was my second choice.
Yeah. But yeah, Roger Moore and James Seymour in this one.
Who was the villain in Live and Let Die? Because my knowledge of James Bond movies isn't the best.
I don't know. Like I say, they're always ones that they come up over bank holidays and all that sort of thing. So whenever I'm channel hopping and I see a James Bond movie come on, then 9 times out of 10 I'll sit and watch it. So.
Oh yes, I remember this one. This is the one with Yaphet Kotto of Alien. He plays the villain.
Yeah.
He plays Mr. Big. Yes, yeah. I remember watching this one because I'm pretty sure he kills him by shooting doesn't he shoot the window of a plane and he falls out of it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, honestly, I can't really get much into to James Bond because the newer ones I've seen, such as like Skyfall and things like that, I've seen those. The older ones I've seen a couple of the Pierce Brosnan ones. I apologise, the cat wants a belly rub. I've seen things like a couple of the Pierce Brosnans. I've seen a couple of Roger Moore. I've seen like From Russia with Love, but a lot of them are just sort of fog. Like I can't quite remember them.
Yeah, I was going to say then. I mean, James Bond films are your typical action films that you just put on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, switch off your brain and sit and enjoy them for what they are. I mean, Roger Moore, easily my favourite James Bond growing up. So I say
he was the longest running Bond, wasn't he? I believe he was in the most Bond movies.
I think he wasn't he? Yeah, yeah. I don't mind the newer ones. Daniel Craig, I think, does quite a good job of being James Bond. I didn't mind Pierce Brosnan, but I wasn't a huge fan. Sean Connery, probably my second favourite after Roger Moore. I know that's always the great debate, isn't it? Whether Roger Moore or Sean Connery is the best Bond ever.
What about George Lazenby?
Yes, yeah.
And what about Peter Sellers? There you go. There's a little bit of Bond knowledge that I do know.
Yeah. But
I do think it's high time. I think it's getting to the point where I think they do need to introduce a new Bond now. Like if they are going to, they're never going to stop the Bond movies. Like I think it's about high time they introduce a new one, which I think they've got in the plans.
Yeah.
So we'll soon see who they introduce.
I don't know how many are they into it now. Is it 26 films? Is it?
Let's have a quick Google.
Sure, it's around that. I remember a couple of the box sets being 24 movies, and I'm sure there's been a couple released since then. So
1, 2. I'm lazy. Is the actual number? I'm going to have to count these. Nope. 25.
Oh, there you go.
Last one was No Time to Die, released in 2021. So it's been a fair few years.
Yeah, but they are normally a few years in the making, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, the last one was 6 years. One before that was 4 years. 4 years again.
Yeah. But, I mean, you know what you get with your James Bond, the typical action movies, and, he gets all the women, and you've got your car sequences and all that sort of thing. And, they're
I think my favourite two out of
timeless.
the entire series, I think I've seen one of them. I can't remember which one it was, but it was Sean Connery's in a hot tub or a bath, covered in bubbles, and this woman walks in. I hope this is real and not like a fever dream I had, but walks in, starts talking to him, obviously starts flirting with him, and then he shoots her because he's had a gun under the bubbles, and he knew exactly what was going on. Yeah, and I think that had been like a cold open to one of them, but I remember seeing that and just been like, "Damn, he's suave."
Got away with the ladies.
But no, I did like the Skyfall and stuff. The new Daniel Craig ones I did enjoy. I did like them. Yeah. I don't think I saw No Time to Die. I think that's the one that I have to watch. But
I've got a feeling I might have seen it once, but I haven't got any back in the collection again. I need to pick up. I'm probably going to pick up.
You need to get the big 50-year briefcase. That's what you need to get.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like the is it attaché briefcase thing?
Yeah,
the aluminium one that was. But I think that had maybe was that the Ultimate Edition that I think had 24 movies in.
Yeah, I think it had everything up until the Daniel Craig stuff. I think it had everything up until Die Another Day, which was the last Pierce Brosnan one.
Yeah, so that's probably the route that I'm going to go. I'll pick those up as the Ultimate Editions. I think you can get them for about 30 quid, something like that. So it's not an expensive set to get. And then I'll get the Daniel Craig ones on Blu-ray probably.
Yeah, if you did get it, because I think the attaché case is going to be probably expensive as all hell. So I think if you can get just a normal 50. I think it's called Bond 50. It's like a gold and black box set. So. Yeah,
I've seen that in CX. I think that's maybe 20 quid, something like that.
Easy going for you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's my first non-horror.
Mine.
So this is where you're going to trump me, is it now?
If you even know what this is, I will be very surprised. If you've even heard of this,
go on then, surprise me.
Movie called The Page Master.
Page Master. Is that a fantasy film?
It is. It is a fantasy family movie starring Macaulay Culkin of Home Alone fame and Christopher Lloyd of Back to the Future.
Now, I have heard of it. I don't recall seeing it.
It was the only reason this is on there is because I couldn't find another one, and I saw that in 1994, and I went, right, I watched this as a kid. I'm putting it on there. I used to have it on a recorded VHS when you used to home record them. I think it might have been on ITV in like the early 2000s or late 90s, and I did wear the tape out as a kid. Rewatched it recently, a couple of years ago, and I remember why I left it in my childhood, because it's good, but it's sort of one of those things of like, if you're not watching it with a child's mind, it's just dumb.
Yeah. So it's one of those that's not aged well.
Yeah, I can imagine if kids watched it nowadays. I mean, it is clever because it goes from live action. It goes from live action to full animation, and it is quite clever how they do it. And I remember there was a scene where they're basically going from like book to book because they're in a library, and they go from like Moby Dick when Ahab's fighting the whale, and like it's quite like the animation is beautiful in it.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting the whale. It's quite dark, and then he goes into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and it's like, and that's probably one of the earliest forays I ever had into horror because it's played quite like kid scary when he turns Mr. Hyde, and it's very like young person scary. Basically, as a scary.
So how old was Macaulay Culkin in that? I take it that was it pre-Home Alone?
I believe this was after Home Alone, because I think Home Alone was 92.
Right.
Because I know that he started doing a lot of movies after that. 1990. So yeah, a couple of years after it. But yeah, it is enjoyable. Like if you wanted to watch a movie with your family, it does suffice. It's fine enough. But to watch it on your own as a 30-year-old man, I don't think I'll do that again.
Well, saying that, I mean, Lewis is 16 in October, so I can't see it's the sort of film that he'll want to sit and have family time and
you
watch.
need to just say to him, you need to just say, mate, we're going to watch The Page Master. You've got no choice.
You've met Lewis. It doesn't quite work like that, does it?
I think if you sedate him, he'll be fine.
I'll ply him with a couple of rums. Yeah,
and just get the tiny people from Gulliver's Travels to tie him down.
Give him a few of the dead man's fingers.
There you go. See, he'll be fine.
Responsible parenting tips 101.
We all turned out fine.
Exactly.
That's my one on there. That the only one I imagine you won't have heard of. Everything else you'll have heard of.
Well, there you go. I did know a little bit about it, didn't I? So I'd heard of it. So it wasn't one that was completely off my radar.
It's definitely not one you're going to have in your collection. I'll say that.
No, it's not one that I'm going to look for on the Fire Stick after this. Put it that way.
There you go. Then.
Right, my next one. 1973 again. Clint Eastwood.
Ooh.
Any thoughts?
I've got a feel. I can never remember which one's which, but I've got a feeling it's going to be one of the Man with No Name trilogy.
The Man with No Name.
So, like, Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More, Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Nope. Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry. Oh, yeah, I completely forgot that existed.
So, well, I mean, the Dirty Harry franchise, not Dirty Harry itself. 1973 gave us Magnum Force.
Oh, yeah. See, a lot of his older action stuff, I've seen the Man with No Name trilogy. I've seen a couple of his Western things. Is stuff like when he did like Clear and Present Danger and stuff like that. If that's even the correct one. Or is that the Harrison Ford one?
That's Harrison Ford, isn't it? Clear and Present Danger.
Is it In the Line of Fire I'm thinking of? When he plays the oh god, I need to correct myself. In the Line of Fire, 1993. Yes, In the Line of Fire. So he's still like his thriller action ones like that. I've never really watched, so I've never actually seen. What was it called?
Magnum Force.
Magnum Force. Never seen it.
Yeah, I mean it's typical Clint Eastwood for that. The Dirty Harry franchise. So
yeah, go on, convince me to watch it.
Well, I haven't. This is one of the ones that I've only ever seen a couple of times over the years. But if you've ever seen Dirty Harry, it's him going after vigilante cops.
Oh yes, I've just got it up on Google Images there. I have seen snippets of this, but that's about it.
But yeah, I've seen. I think Dirty Harry's probably the most, the one that I've seen the most out of that franchise. But I recently picked up the Dirty Harry box set, so I am going to look to watch them through in order. So
I am not going to lie, saying that I didn't even realise that Dirty Harry was a franchise. I thought it was just the one movie.
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember how many. Where is it? Oh, I can't even see where it is on me. Me shelf. I'm sure they did. Is it 3 or 4?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in one of your recent videos, one of your pickups, wasn't it?
Yeah. And another Clint Eastwood one that I've picked up recently, actually, which I haven't watched as yet, but it's on my shortlist to watch very soon because I'm intrigued by it, is a movie called Firefox.
Same, never heard of it.
Yeah, so that was one that was recommended to me by a guy that I follow on YouTube called Evesham Gamer, Tej, and he spoke highly of it, and so I saw it in it was over in Middlesbrough CX probably a month or so ago. So I've picked it up to watch. It's a sci-fi action film.
All right.
So, but
I'm
yeah,
gonna have to like pull my finger out and get some things watched. I'm far too behind on everything.
You'll get there, I'm sure. So I know when we do these episodes, quite often there's the odd title that I've never heard of, and I always make a note of it and add it onto the list to try and have a watch of. So
yeah, like that's completely fair. I'll watch Firefox. You can watch Page Master. That's fine.
Please no. Right. Lewis would never forgive me.
Yeah, well, you can watch it with him, because I can imagine if you watched it without him, he'd get very upset.
Yeah, right. Never forgive me.
Next one, I didn't even realise it was 94, and it's a good one because we can actually talk about it.
Okay.
The documentary.
Right.
Never realised it was 1994. But
I literally watched that. The weekend just gone.
Exactly, and I absolutely love it. It's probably one of my favourite documentaries as well. It's just so mental. Like when you're watching it and you're seeing these people and you think, how are these people real? Like how his brother Charles, the one who he has this brother who's completely isolated and he just lives in the house with his mother.
He's the one that lives at home with his mum, isn't he?
Yeah, and the mother is also a complete Fruit Loop.
She's all kinds of fucked up, and you can definitely see that it doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
Yeah, so like you've got he's Looney Tunes, she's Looney Tunes, like his brother, I believe, is it Mason or Maxon, the one who's a bit of a hippie, he's a complete Fruit Loop, and it's just like you think, how did Robert Crumb not end up like a serial killer? How have any of them not ended up as serial killers? Because it's just insanity. Like, obviously, I think that by the time the documentary was done, the father had died. So, like, you couldn't get in. I believe he had a sister who at the end it says.
Tell people initially who he is, because obviously it's a documentary that I've watched recently that you know about, but probably most people will never have heard of him.
Yeah, before I start rambling, that's actually a good idea.
It might make more sense.
Yeah, basically, Robert Crumb, he's an American. I believe he's still around with us.
He's a comic book artist, isn't he?
Underground comic book artist. So he never worked for any big companies, and he never worked for like any big companies or big names. But he used to do underground comics where they would get printed by independent people, and they would get spread throughout different shops and different places. And he ended up doing these comics that were not politically correct. Let's just say that, because I actually have I have on my tablet the complete like the volumes of the Complete Crumb. It's all of his stuff, and like every volume is like a new set of years, so like 1955 to 1960, etc., etc.
I wouldn't mind having a look at that if
I'll swing them your way. I'll put them on the stick.
Brilliant. Stick it on the iPad.
Yeah, but it's got all of his stuff in there, and they weren't politically correct. They definitely wouldn't fly nowadays. But he basically got quite big in terms of like, I mean, if you've ever seen the Keep on Trucking, it's not as famous as it was back in the day, but Keep on Trucking, the used to be a sticker that you'd put on the back of cars and stuff. I remember seeing it as a kid.
Yeah,
that was him. That was him. He did a load of different characters. He made a lot of different comics. Like his art style's, if you see it and you've seen it somewhere else, you'll pick it up immediately. But
yeah. I mean, he was well known, wasn't he, for Fritz the Cat?
Fritz the Cat, obviously, and that got adapted into a animated movie that he wasn't best pleased about.
He wasn't happy with that at all. I hadn't realised. I thought he'd had a lot of involvement with the cartoon animated version of Fritz the Cat, but he didn't at all, did he?
And he was not best pleased when he saw it. But so you've got all.
And I've got it on the shelf over there.
Exactly.
So.
But yeah, and sort of like this documentary, literally, it is a documentary in the biggest terms. They just follow him about with a camera and just
it's like a fly on the wall documentary, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like, they do interviews with him, interviews with his girlfriend, his brother,
and you meet his family, and you find out that his family, like his brother Charles, is mentally unwell and doesn't leave the house. His brother Maxon, I think was his name, I'm going to go with that, is mentally unwell, but like he's very, I don't know what you would even say, like he's very hippie-ish, sits on beds and nails, eats cloth to cleanse himself.
Yeah, I mean, there's that one scene, isn't there, where he's got the piece of cloth and he's eating it, and it's like to flush his system out or something.
Yeah, clean his system out, and that's just like completely normal to do.
Oh, yeah, brutal.
But and then you've got his mother, who doesn't have much screen time, but she's a complete Looney Tune. She says there's people walking around the house, shadow people.
Yeah, she's all kinds of odd, isn't she?
And he talks about how he was abused as a child and like all this, that, and the other. And you just sat there thinking, how is this guy not in an asylum? How is he walking around not mental? But it's one of those things where, because it's like an unscripted documentary where they just walk around and they just follow him, it's interesting just to see, like you said, fly on the wall. Like they don't push any particular thing. They just say, right, where you go next? Coffee shop. Right, we'll just follow you there and see what happens. Yeah,
and he's sat in these coffee shops, like observing other customers and stuff, and sat sketching them and all that sort of thing. And for someone like me that loves drawing and all of that sort of thing, that the whole seeing him do these drawings of people out and about and stuff like that, I mean, that's fascinating for me in itself. So
I did like the piranha that you did, the recent piranha.
Yes, yeah. Well, have you seen the one that I've put up today?
Was it the Kenny one?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I did like it. I did. Very good.
So yeah, getting back into my drawing again. So watching that Crumb documentary kind of gave me a bit of a kick up the arse to dust down the iPad again and start doing some drawing. So
good.
But I agree with you. It's probably one of my favourite documentaries that I've seen recently.
Yes, it really is. It's because it doesn't push anything. It doesn't. You literally sit there and you just watch everything happen. You don't get like fed any bull or anything like that. You just sit there. There's no big portions of like people explaining what's going to happen. Then you see the footage. Just literally follow this guy around and see what happens.
And I said to you as well, it was. I was shocked at the end when obviously they put up the information to say that his brother had committed suicide a year after making the documentary.
Yeah.
But as you said, it might not have been a bad thing because he was a very disturbed individual that really you wouldn't want out in society.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very dark documentary. Like, I think there's a point where he's talking about how his dad used to beat them senseless, and he's like laughing while he's explaining how it used to be, and it's a bit. It
is very unnerving in places, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like you can tell, like they could all do with some therapy. But this was in 1994, and I think they're all about 90 years old now if they're still with us, so it's all good.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, I'm guessing his mum probably isn't still with us. His brother disappeared. Where I'm guessing he's still alive. Is he?
I believe, as far as I checked when I watched it a couple of years ago, Maxim was still about. Yeah, and he looks like hell. Like he looks like a scarecrow.
Yeah. What about Robert himself?
Yeah, I believe he moved, because at the end of that movie, he moves to France, doesn't he? And I believe he's been there ever since. Yep, he is 80 years old and still with us.
Bloody hell! And I bet he's still sat doodling away.
I can imagine so.
So, but yeah, if people that are watching this, if you've never seen the documentary Crumb, honestly, hunt it down, guys. It's absolutely fascinating insight into the guy and the world that he surrounded himself with.
Yeah, also on Criterion. So, like, if you're in the US, you can get a really, really nice edition of it.
Yeah, definitely. Right. My next one, and this is actually the last one that I've managed to get on physical media.
Very nice, very nice.
Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee masterpiece, 1973.
I've never really been a big fan of like the old Bruce Lee stuff. Like a lot of like I think I said in one of the other videos, I've never really been a big fan of martial arts stuff in general, even the old Jackie Chan stuff. But a couple of the Bruce Lee's, like Game of Death, Enter the Dragon, those ones, like I do tend to enjoy. I think it's just because of Bruce himself.
Yeah, I mean, Enter the Dragon is an absolute classic. I mean, I've got probably, I don't know, maybe half a dozen different Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan movies since I've been rebuilding the collection. But Enter the Dragon is by far the one that I've seen the most over the years. I absolutely love it. Got old John Saxon in as well.
He showed up in the strangest of things. He always did. Like I remember just going back to Giallos. I remember when I was watching like The Nightmare on Elm Street, and then I watched Tenebrae, and he just rocks up in Tenebrae. He just shows up out the blue.
Yeah,
he just does random things. But yeah, also Bruce Lee, recently starred in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Obviously, he was in there as well. Definitely him.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I think Bruce, as an actor and stuff like that, I think he had a lot more to give. Like, unfortunately, obviously, he was taken far too soon.
Well, there's all sorts of conspiracy theories about whether he actually did die or not. So, save those for another episode.
Same with his son as well. Obviously, Brandon with the Crow, terrible loss.
Crow, yeah. It was partway through making the first Crow movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, like someone said, they would have loved to see Bruce Lee as Mr. Miyagi when he was old in a Karate Kid remake, and I'm like, yeah, that would have been
yeah,
really cool.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. Like if you think back to it, like I think he would have had like a lot of input. Like imagine if in Kill Bill Part 2, where there's the old Chinese guy that teaches the bride Kung Fu, it could have been Bruce Lee. That would have been quite clever. Yeah. Like,
I mean, the fight sequences and that in Enter the Dragon, second to none. Absolutely amazing.
Like he was really, really good, obviously, with his choreography and stuff like that. Like the man knew how to fight. Like he really, really did. Yeah. But I think out of all of the films he ever did, I think Enter the Dragon is probably the best one he ever did. I think it's like top of his game. Yeah,
I mean, since recollecting, I've got this one, which is the uncut special edition. But one of the ones that I traded into CX was that limited edition box set that they did for it.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Which was a lovely set, and that's probably the one that I'm looking to get back into the collection again as well. So really nice remaster of it.
Again, if you're in the US, they've just released, I think it was a couple of years ago, they released a big Bruce Lee box set on Criterion, a load of I think it was about five of his films. I think Game of Death was in there. Let's have a look, see. Bruce Lee, his greatest hits. Yeah, you got Big Boss, Fist of Fury, Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, and Game of Death. So, like a solid selection.
Definitely the top draw ones of his. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot. Game of Death released 5 years after Bruce Lee's death. I've completely forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
I think Enter the Dragon was his final film. At least he went out with a hell of a bang.
Certainly did, but absolute classic, that one. And again, that's another one that's on my list to rewatch again very shortly. So
yeah,
but I'm probably going to hold off and wait till I get it on that Blu-ray edition.
I do like that we can get it fully uncut, because I know it was silly. It was like shots of the nunchucks and like the slashes across them and stuff like that. They got cut.
Yeah.
At least we can watch it uncut nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. So. But yeah, that's my next one. So how many have you got left on yours now? 3?
3 left.
Yep. Come on then, amaze me. Trump me again if you can.
Right, I've got 3 more. 1 of which I don't know if you've seen, 2 of which I know you will have seen.
Okay.
So we'll just go for number 3, which is Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah, good chance I've seen that one a few times over the years.
1994. So
there you go. That's definitely your best one so far for me.
Yeah. Won't go much into it. Obviously, we talked a lot about it in the previous episode with Quentin Tarantino, but obviously, one of the
link
best.
In the description if you want to check out our Tarantino special from the other week.
Yeah, was obviously one of the best Tarantino movies. All the actors are brilliant in it. Won't get too deep into it. Obviously, it lives in like pop culture even till now. You'll see like Pulp Fiction things everywhere, especially like the Sam Jackson, John Travolta characters, and you'll see
Uma Thurman,
and you'll see them on T-shirts, posters, as you have.
Canvas, big canvas.
You'll see it everywhere. It's one. I think it's his most famous movie he'll ever make. I don't think he's ever going to make anything. Or he's going to have anything that's going to top Pulp Fiction. I think it's going to be the very tip top of his work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's on there. I won't get too deep into it. As I said, we talked a shed load a bit about it last time, so we'll just move straight on to yours. Definitely
up there as one of my favourite Tarantino movies. And that's, like I say, my favourite out of all the ones you've listed so far tonight. So.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, does it? Better than Pulp Fiction?
There's one more that might top it. It might not. We'll see. I might have had to say this a lot.
Right. My next one, I haven't got on physical media. I haven't seen it for a long time. But I seem to recall you've started watching through this franchise again recently. So 1973 gave us Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
Hey, yes, it did.
Yeah.
I'm a massive Apes fan, like really, really big Apes fan, like even the old ones. Obviously, Battle was the 5th, it was the last.
It's the last one they did, isn't it, before they moved on to the modern day ones?
It was indeed. Obviously, at that point, it was a lot of the original cast had scarpered off, because they had Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes. So you had Charlton Heston lands on Planet of the Apes, and then you had Charlton Heston, then you had the other actor that came in. I can't remember the actor's name. I know his name in the movie was, oh no.
Yeah, I've got Planet and Conquest, the early ones I've got over there.
Yeah, number 1 and 4. I can't remember the guy's name. This is embarrassing. Ah, hell. So, yeah, the other guy comes down, finds Charlton Heston, and then obviously all goes to pot. Do you know about the original storyline?
What, for Planet of the Apes?
The first 5 movies?
No, go on.
So basically, you've got Charlton Heston. So he lands on Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
And then he obviously goes through, finds out that, spoiler for a 50-year-old movie, that the Planet of the Apes is actually Earth. Then it continues on to Beneath the Planet of the Apes, which is where another astronaut comes down, and Charlton Heston's character gets lost in this void. He just disappears.
Right.
You then find out that there's an underground society of mutants that worship a nuclear bomb, and they're at war with the apes on Earth. And then at the end of that movie, Charlton Heston blows up the world, just presses the nuke button. Everyone's dead, planet's gone.
Right.
Yeah. Then they went, but the producers then went, well, no, we're still making money. We want more ape. So then Escape from the Planet of the Apes, which is one of my favourite ones. The apes, Cornelius, Dr. Zira, and Unknown Ape number 3. I'm a really big fan. I promise I'm just not good on this one. But they all go into, they all get into Charlton Heston's ship from the first movie, and they fly. They hit a wormhole and end up on Earth in the 70s.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
yeah.
And it's then them on Earth with humans instead of the other way around. In Escape, they then have a child at the end. And then that child is hidden from society, which in Conquest becomes an adult and creates a revolution, which creates the Planet of the Apes. So it's like a time loop, like them going back in the past. And then Battle is set way after, so like they sort of fixed the corner they found themselves in.
Yes, yeah.
And then Battle was way ahead, so like it's like so many years after Cornelia, because he's called Cornelia. He's called. Oh my god!
Come on, super fan.
Oh, I'm so bad. I'm so bad at thinking on my feet. I'm not googling it. I'm not googling it. Cut this out. Caesar, of course. I was going. No, it can't be called Caesar. That's the remakes. No, it's Caesar is their son, and then he basically goes on in battle to he's now the leader of the apes, and there's one last big fight, and then the studios ran out of money, and they went, no, we're not doing it anymore. And then obviously recently, within the past decade or so, they've brought it back, and you've now got the new Apes movies, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, they're brilliant. I mean, you've got what, Dawn, Rise, and War, is it?
Yeah, so you had Rise, Dawn, War, and then the recent, which is Kingdom.
Yeah, I've still not seen Kingdom yet. I've seen the other 3.
There's also, if you can find it, I don't think it's available on YouTube, unfortunately. You know, I've been sending these big documentaries of movies.
Yeah.
There's one called Behind the Planet of the Apes.
Right, okay.
Just about an hour and so long, and it's Roddy McDowell, who played Cornelius.
Mm-hmm.
They go through all the original 5.
Right,
movies.
okay.
They have interviews with directors, the actors, talking about the makeup processes, and it's really good. It's really cool.
Is that on YouTube, did you say, or?
It might not be. If it's not, I'll manage to find you a copy.
Right, okay. You'll acquire me a dodgy copy.
I will acquire you a perfectly legal copy.
Yeah.
But no, I really do love them. Like, they are really good. As much as I haven't shown that just then.
So what did you think of the new one then that I haven't seen?
I loved it. I love them all. I love the idea of monkeys creating a society after the humans have gone. I think hyper intelligent monkeys. It's just so cool.
Yeah, definitely one I need to have a watch of. Then that new one.
Yeah, and every time I go up the zoo, I put my hand against the glass and I see if the ape does it back, and I know they're getting smarter.
Exactly.
If they put the hand on the other side, I know that they will spare me, and that when they take over, they'll spare me.
Yeah. Reminds me of that Banksy canvas I've got upstairs. The monkey one day will be in charge.
Exactly, and then hopefully they'll spare me because I said I like the movies. But then they'll say, "Yeah,
exactly.
You didn't know the main ape's name," and then they smash my head in with a rock.
Yeah, Caesar comes along and face stomps you.
And he goes, "What's my name?" And I go,
Yeah, face stomps you like American History X.
It's going to be a horrible film. But no, I really liked Battle. It was you can really tell the budget limitations they had. I believe the director in Behind the Planet of the Apes says that they had to do a lot of like close. It's supposed to be this big war, and there's a lot of close-up shots, like really tight close-up shots, because they couldn't do big sweeping ones.
Yeah,
and you can tell the budget issues, but it's fine. Like it's
Like I say, I've got the first one on Conquest there, so I need to fill in the gaps and grab the other ones when I can.
Yeah, I tell you what, I will grab one thing off my shelf while I'm here.
Are you still looking after my Friday the 13th box set?
Shut your mouth.
Yes, Marcus, it's pride of place. It's just waiting for that for the right time.
Until I'm desperate enough. There we go.
Ah, nice. Okay.
I got this when War came out, and so you get the original and the remake apes on there. You get art cards and everything. So
is this Blu-ray?
This is Blu-ray, and it's not leaving my sight before you say
nice. I look forward to adding that onto the shelf behind me at some point down the line.
It's mine.
Yeah, but that's probably what you said about Weird Wisconsin, and he came from the swamp.
Look what
and the bloody terror box set.
Look what I have and you don't have. Look at what
I have. Oh, there we go. Well, nice to see that you're looking after it for me.
Yeah, you wish. I can sit there for now. If there's a loud bang,
it definitely looked better on that shelf behind me rather than your shelf.
You'd be fuming to find out how much I paid for it as well, because there was a glitch on Amazon and I only paid £75 for it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Many years ago. Bloody hell.
Many moons ago.
That's all right. You'll be able to cut me a deal on that then.
I'm leaving this podcast.
Right, your second to last one then.
If you'd have seen this one, I'll be very happy, because then we can talk about it. But it's probably my favourite Johnny Depp movie, and it is Ed Wood.
Edward Scissorhands.
No, Ed Wood.
Ed Wood.
Have you never seen Ed Wood?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, here we go. Right.
I've never even heard of it. When you say that, I'm not a big Johnny Depp fan, if I'm honest. So.
It's a biopic. It's a biopic. It's based off a real guy. I would say it's classed as like a comedy / drama, but it's a bit like, it's really lighthearted.
Right.
But it basically follows a director from the olden times, like I think it was like the 50s and 60s, called Edward D. Wood Jr. And he was a film director, and he made absolute, just bottom tier, terrible movies. Have you ever heard of the movie Plan 9 from Outer Space?
No.
Well, he made that. Basically, it was classed as as the worst movie ever made for a long time.
Right, okay.
So, and it follows his life from basically, like, not his life, but his career. So he's starting as a director and then going all the way through until he sort of released Plan 9, and that was like sort of his peak. It doesn't really follow after that. But it's got a lot of good actors in, but the actor, who I can't think of at the moment, played Bela Lugosi, because strangely enough, Ed Wood became good friends with Bela Lugosi, the original Dracula.
Right.
From the old Universal movies. At this point in his life, Bela Lugosi was he was had a drug habit. He was really bad into the drugs. So obviously Ed sort of looked after him and also paid him and things like that to keep him going, and they became quite good friends. And just like, because he's actually, like, these are all real movies. You can literally watch the Ed Wood movie and then watch all of the source material after.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a light-hearted movie, but it's got a lot of heart as well. Like, you root for Ed, even though you know that he never really makes it. You sort of like root for him for the entire thing, and it's not like a Johnny Depp now where it's all stupid faces and loud jokes, and it's not like Captain Jack Sparrow funny. He was It was in the same. Obviously, it's quite near when he did Fear and Loathing. He still actually like acted. He just didn't play himself. So when he's like in it, he's playing it quite straight, which is really good. But even something like, you used to watch old school wrestling, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember George the Animal Steel?
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah,
the one who used to eat the turnbuckles, bald head, hairy as all hell.
Yeah.
He's in it.
All right, bloody hell.
He plays Tor Johnson, who was a Swedish actor.
Great. So, no, I used to watch the British wrestling, and then like in the mid '80s, I moved on to the American wrestling. You know, likes of Jake the Snake Roberts and Macho Man Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior. He was my favourite.
So were you a big fan of Giant Haystacks then?
Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy, yeah.
Who did you root for?
Big Daddy, obviously. He was the good guy. Old Shirley Crabtree, wasn't it?
It was indeed. I never knew. Like, I looked it up years ago, and I was like, Giant Haystacks can't have been that giant. He was giant.
He was huge.
He was like 6'11", and like weighed 500 pounds.
Yeah, I remember. I used to live down in the Midlands, and they used to have British wrestling at the Spa Centre in Leamington, and I can't remember which wrestler it was, but me and my brother went to see it. There was these couple of old grannies that were at the front, and they were trying to hit the wrestlers as they walked past with the handbags and stuff like that. And one of the matches, they used to have like the buckets. So they used to be able to like sponge the wrestler and stuff like that. And this bad guy wrestler chucked his toys out the pram and hurled the bucket, and it come out into the crowd and hit my brother on the head. Oh dear! I'll have to ask him which wrestler it was, but yeah, funny as fuck. I'll always remember that incident. So
he was 6'11" and weighed 685 pounds.
Yeah,
that is a big man.
Yeah, he was huge, but yeah, his nemesis was always Big Daddy, wasn't it? So
I've never understood. Right, that obviously it's quite thingy to the UK. How have we never had a biopic about those two? How have we never had a movie about them two? I would watch that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, they were absolute legends of the sport, weren't they? So Skull Murphy, that was another one of that era. Do you remember Skull Murphy?
It's because I used to watch reruns on ITV when I was a kid. Like, I used to watch, obviously, because I'm quite a young soul
compared to me. Yeah.
So, like, I used to watch it when they used to put like the best of ITV wrestling on, and it would be like certain matches of the old stuff. Yeah,
Skull Murphy, and there was Rollerball Rocco.
See, this is out past Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks. Nothing's in here.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to. I'm pretty sure they've released a couple of DVDs years and years ago, all on about ITV wrestling. So I'm gonna have to see if I can track those down. I'm sure the likes of CX, they'll be ridiculously cheap now. So
I was a WWF kid.
Yeah, so was I. Like I say, Ultimate Warrior. I mean, even hearing his intro music now still gives me goosebumps. Absolutely love it.
I was like John Cena and stuff, old man.
No.
Ultimate Warrior was retired when I watched it.
Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, Shawn Michaels, Jimmy Superfly Snooker, absolutely loads. That was when wrestling was on sports entertainment, not the soap opera that it is now.
You're showing your age.
Yeah, but that was American wrestling's golden era for me. So,
but yeah, Edward's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I definitely. It's one of those movies like where if you watch it, it makes you want to watch more films because it's like it shows like his sort of like love of making movies, sort of like makes you want to watch more movies. If you get me. Yeah, I definitely give it a watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try and track that one down. So, and unless you can source me a copy.
I'll source you a completely legal copy.
Right, on to my last one then. My phone's down to 26%. So
my tablet's on 25. I'll beat you.
Yeah. So my last one, Golden Age of Sinbad.
Jeez, Golden Age of Sinbad, the Ray Harryhausen.
Yes. Yeah.
That is actually surprising.
Yeah. So that again was 1973. Caroline Munro was in that, along with Tom Baker.
Jeez.
Doctor Who.
Because I am going to say something. I can't remember this one because I was a bigger fan of Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah, I mean they're both very similar movies.
Yeah, the Ray Harryhausen stop motion fantasy things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at Tom Baker here. I don't believe you the slightest, even though you're telling me a complete fact.
Tom Baker was the bad guy.
God in heaven, that is Doctor Who.
It is, I told you.
He doesn't look anything like himself. That's really cool.
Yeah. The absolute classic, action fantasy film would you bracket it as?
I class these as like proper fantasy. Like you get fantasy movies now where it's like it's the normal world and things are slightly off. This is like proper fantasy. You're in a different world. There's creatures everywhere. It's like
but as a kid, they were so fun to watch. And the special effects in them were. I mean, obviously, if you see them now, you're like, oh God, that's really old school and whatever. But for the time, they were absolutely superb.
See, I wouldn't even say that. I remember, because if you watch them now, knowing that was step by step stop motion and then like interlaced onto the footage of the actors, and they had to time it all right. It's incredible. It's CGI's too easy. This is hard. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, you imagine how long it must have took them to do those sequences back then.
Yeah, but my granddad, back when I was a kid, he used to watch all of these, and I remember there was one of them. I don't know which one it was of these, but it was the one with the Cyclops.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the Cyclops picks up someone and like bites them in half, and I remember being a kid just going like, "Oh, I don't like it." And I remember that, and there was the Medusa. I think that might be Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah, but this Seven Age of Sinbad, I watched a clip of it earlier, and it's got the I can't remember what the character was now, but it's got like a soldier type character with like a dozen swords.
Yeah, all the blades. Yeah, I remember that. I believe it's got. Is it got the hippogriff in it as well? The bird. It's like got 4 legs, and it's got the. Has it got the centaur in it? I think it fights the hippogriff at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just proper good fantasy. Like proper.
But for its time, again, it's another one of those that if I ever see it on, ITV of a weekend when I'm channel hopping of a morning, I'll sit and watch it. I absolutely love watching those. So.
See, what's a real big shame is I don't know if you saw Indicator, the ones who did the box sets I gave you. I sold to you for a good price.
Oh yeah, these lovely additions behind me here.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for the money. Don't you worry.
Bullshit.
They did Ray Harryhausen box sets.
Oh yeah.
Had like Age of Sinbad, Jason the Argonauts. Had all of his old stuff in, and I believe they're like unbelievably expensive now, unfortunately. But
it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I'm just going to try and pick them up cheap on DVD if I can.
I used to have the Hammer Horror Indicator box sets, and I sold those a long time ago, and I should have just kept hold of them because they are so expensive now.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Ray Harryhausen. I wish I could spell. Oh, you can get volume 1 for like £45. And then volume 2 is £95.
Ouch. But you could get your Coffin Joe for that, couldn't you?
Oh, there we go. The Ray Harryhausen collection, £12 on DVD. There you go.
Hey, there you go. That'll do for me.
Yeah, all of his old like stop motion stuff. Like I remember watching like the main one. I keep going on about Jason and the Argonauts, the Talos, the giant statue, which chases them when it starts like creaking and following them about. It was unbelievable. You think, like, how did they do that? Like, they're all walking around the beach and they're all like this big on the screen, and then you've just got Talos huge chasing them. Like the sense of scale was so good.
Yeah, but absolutely timeless classics. I love them.
Unexpected, but very good choice.
All right, thank you very much. That's my last one. So, on to your last one.
The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, what a one to finish with.
Yeah, I know. One of my.
There you go. You've trumped me with that one. I'll give you that one.
So one of my top ones, and it's also the year I was born.
There you go. Perfect.
There we go. So there's that. I won't obviously go too much into it. Obviously, you watched it recently and you enjoyed it.
I did. Yeah, it was one that had been on my radar for a while. And when you mentioned it in your top 10 non-horror of all time, it piqued my interest. I grabbed it on DVD, watched it, and completely blown away by it. Absolutely loved it.
Frank Darabont can do no wrong. Man's a genius. Stephen King can write films that aren't horror. It's been proven.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just absolutely brilliant. And it's the ending is probably the most satisfying ending in movie history.
Yeah. So because I mean, it's a feeling that I'll never get again. Obviously, seeing it for the first time, I know the twist towards the end of the movie. I know how it pans out now, but seeing that for the first time, I was like, holy fuck, I wasn't expecting that to happen.
The rock hammer falling out of not the rock hammer, when he drops the Bible and he sees where the rock hammer was kept.
Yeah.
At the end, and then you hear the sirens, it's just like, it's just so satisfying.
Yeah, you realise what he's been building up to over all that time.
Yeah, and it's like it was slow. It took him 30 years, but he got there.
Yeah. And then they both meet up at the end.
Yeah, the final speech from Red, Morgan Freeman.
Denzel Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, Denzel Washington. Yeah, Morgan Freeman.
Yes. Okay.
oh, I thought you were making a joke.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, right. I'm forgiven for Caesar now because of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll edit that bit out. Morgan Freeman. Yes.
Yeah. Missing reel.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman's like this is the final speech he gives to the new board, and he just says, "I don't give a shit. I'm done." And then that's because he's finally spoke he spoke his truth. That's what gets him done. It's just so good. And then it's a bizarre twist, isn't it? He's at the stage where he's given up and doesn't think he's getting out, and he tells them that, and then suddenly he's released. Yep. And then honestly, that final shot on the beach, just one of the most perfect movies. It's got no flaws.
Yeah. So it's one I've got over there on DVD, but have they done a 4K of it?
Yes, I believe they have. I
bet it'd look really nice on 4K. Obviously, they've done a Blu-ray release.
Shawshank 4K. Yes, and it's only £16, brand new on Amazon.
There we go. That might have to be a cheeky upgrade coming into the collection then.
Well, you're going to have to get that, and you'll have to get Bruiser as well. So,
yeah. Well, Bruiser I've got on my list on HMV at the minute, so I might pick it up from there.
Oh, they've also got one called the Film Vault range.
All right.
Oh, it's out of stock. Never mind. Sorry to get your hopes up like
that. Typical.
I think
get me hopes up and then dash them.
Yeah, I think it was a big fancy collector's set, so I'm not surprised.
There we go. So I think that's us finished. Just coming up 2 hours. So that's been a decent session for us.
Another 2 hours. I'm never going to get back.
That's all right. You can sit and watch it back later on in the week with your good lady.
Don't threaten
You
me.
cringe watching these back, don't you?
I just the sound of my own voice is like nails on a chalkboard at the best of times. So you know what I mean?
You should be used to it by now. We're a few episodes in, so
I'm enjoying the feedback from people, my adoring fans.
yeah, exactly. People seem to enjoy these these episodes that we do. So, but yeah, we've got plenty more in the pipeline to come.
Yep, we'll have to decide on the next one.
Yes, yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully another in-person one next time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll decide over the next week or so, and then we normally have a week to sit down and prepare for it, don't we? And then we'll sort it from there.
And then we go all over again.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll wrap things up there, guys. Let us know in the comments any either from 1973 or 1994 that we might not have chosen that might be your favourite. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any others there that are favourites with other people.
And also bully me for forgetting basic Planet of the Apes facts, even though I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, and the edited out bit of Denzel Washington.
Yeah, what was your favourite Denzel Washington scene in Shawshank Redemption?
But yeah, there we go, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one. Certainly, myself and James always enjoy these get-togethers, whether they're remote ones or ones where James comes over to me and we do the old takeaway and beers and all that sort of stuff. So people seem to enjoy it, so we'll keep on doing them. So
I can imagine this is going to get uploaded this time tomorrow, earlier on this time tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably upload it mid-afternoon tomorrow, so should be up for people tea time onwards.
Good stuff.
All right then, guys. Well, as always, thanks very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. And yeah, myself and James will be back with another episode probably in the next week or two.
Yep.
All right. Cheers for watching, guys. Bye for now.
Next time.